Um, so welcome everyone to a Thursday. Welcome to the Foolish Tech Show. We're here to provide support for all of our products and answer any questions you may have.
Welcome, arms wide open.
Yeah. RTM Tech says he has a problem, so that's exactly what we're here for.
I
And
mean, sorry, but
anyone
yeah,
else? Are you done?
no.
Anyone else would like to join in the chat, you can do that from foolishtechshow.com. If you're watching from Twitch, you can join in the chat there. I'm watching that one and our IRC, although we'll post all the links in our IRC chat, so check it out there. And otherwise, go ahead and shoot with your problem, RTM Tech, since that's exactly what we're here for. Okay, well, that's good that it's not a CP problem. What's the other problem? What is the problem, I guess?
That's awesome. We start a show right with like the reason why we're here.
Yeah, that's good. Client has a payroll app running on a network server. Okay, those are pains.
So it's a database, I guess. Is it connected to a database, or I don't know. Well, if you're going there, we gotta get more specific.
I imagine it would be like a
connection type, all that stuff. But
like a QuickBooks style setup where server hosts and then clients pick up from it. Client report could not execute the external program. Yeah, if you can tell us what payroll
it's
app.
like if it's using something like reports, if there's a database and network, I'm already just imagining some separate reports thing, Crystal or something like that, and I can just see, or just something going on where he's got some words.
Crypto Prevent wouldn't block something in that area either, but
no.
What a weird program to be running.
Yeah, my point was just that it would be and it actually would make sense with the error message too. It could be another program that it's using for reporting or something like that, whatever's going on. No updates, no changes to Crypto Prevent. So it worked previously with Crypto Prevent applied, or?
Well, even with the maximum protection, that wouldn't block it with Crypto Prevent because we only go that one level deep, so it would be app data and temp. Yeah, that would be something I would assume as well. But for Crypto Prevent, it's only going to block the app data and then the root of that temp folder. It's not going to go that additional folder, and for purposes like this. So
worked previously with CP Basic.
Well, actually, there is a
disabled it and it's working. The only other thing would be the filter module might change it, but
try with that on or off. And and it would have to be if it's not in the event log. The filter module should be reporting to the event log. It is not. It's only doing the.
Yeah, is there anything in the event log?
It's supposed to be, but there's a bug in the one that's out there now that is not reporting to the event log with the filter module.
If it would email though,
or something, it still emails you.
It won't even run on the server. So yeah, it sounds like maybe an update to that payroll app on the server might have gotten hit.
Oh
yeah, and today's the IRS deadline, making it fun for them.
Stench.
Is it a proprietary app? Or are you able to tell us which app it is? Maybe we can look a little bit more in from there.
Or we can just Google a little bit and figure out how it works a little more or something.
Hi, usual people in line, but yeah, we have a 15 character cutoff, so. ATX Payroll 2015, not one that I've heard of.
I haven't heard of that either.
But if you like actually say move the protection level back to basic, does it then work? Or, and I guess still the filter module is what I would be saying to look at. But there could, yeah, okay. Let's look into that printing thing, what they do for printing, database, pulling all that data.
But when he said report, I think it's just saying clients are reporting to him that it's not running.
Oh, that would be better. I was going the route of like Crystal Reports or something like a database, because he started with database and okay, no.
Yeah, so it's definitely not crypto prevent, which again, from that folder level, that wouldn't have been what would have been blocking it. From just the first searches off of it, I'm getting the runtime error with a custom install for that software. That's actually only saying for 2013 or earlier. Yeah, they don't seem to have a lot of stuff out there, but a lot of malware scans for that payroll application.
Have there been any other changes in your environment? Ooh, they put out an update.
They pushed out an update. Oh.
Once you said that you had uninstalled everything and it wasn't working on the server, that was my first assumption, is they pushed out an update to the program.
What's bad is you'd be like, why would you want to do that right before tax time? But then there's like the tax laws and stuff changing all the time.
Yeah.
It's actually funny that I hadn't talked to my accountant one year. And he was like, yeah, like the first year I had one, and he was like, for the business, and he was like, yeah, we don't actually know we can't really tell you anything because we don't really know what's going on yet. This was a consultation like after the new year, and they were like, we don't really know what the law is going to end up being. I'm like, what? Really? Okay. Anywho, on some specific things, I guess.
Are you getting an error message when you try to run that file?
Yeah. Usual people test. It's weird that your router is causing issues in sound, though. But yeah, so the error is just the one about unable to launch external app.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would still look in the event logs just to rule out software restriction policies. Look for event ID 877 or 866 or something like that. There's a range. There's like 2 or 3 of them. The event viewer should get them, I think, in crypto prevent though.
Well, he's already uninstalled it, so I don't think that's it.
Yeah. Well, you could put it back on then.
He didn't have it on the server, and the server's not running, so.
Is it possible?
No, it's still having it in the event log. I mean, he can even look. He can just go look, but and filter it. But
is it possible that the update updated the software on the server, but not the software on the clients?
That's a good possibility.
I hate when that happens. Starts to do some kind of install. Checking .net. Uh-oh. Uninstall what?
he uninstalled on one client to test, see if it's possible to reinstall it, and it works.
Mm. How does a router implode? Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So apparently, and actually, let's go ahead and mention that real quick. So right now, we're actually streaming to both YouTube and Twitch. So if you prefer Twitch, there's an option to go on Twitch below, or just go to.
Apparently, the video's better.
Yeah, the Twitch video stream we had reports was much better. So, we default with the YouTube one showing because that one doesn't have ads show as soon as you get off, and we don't have any way to turn off those ads. So,
Yeah.
So apparently, while we were testing that stuff out, because we were testing to see if we could stream to both this morning, Glenn had the page open and was just waiting for us to get on, and we started talking, and it scared the crap out of him.
Nice.
He's not on right now. It's like 6 a.m. his time, but yeah, apparently we scared the crap out of Glenn. Michael at Envise posted a link here if y'all want to read it. It's a fairly short story, but there's a lot of words, so I haven't read it all. But just to repost that so it can get it out there. RTM Tech had sent me a couple things here too. Let me get the link and read over what he said here. The DHS is funding research into a tunnel of truth, a long walkway flanked by several scanning devices and camera that records passengers' expressions for signs of nervousness, erratic behavior, or other traces that indicate they might be hiding something or lying about their identity. Plus, airports have already begun rolling out. Oh, Johnny's printing something. Plus, airports have already begun rolling out facial recognition scanners at security checks. On the local scale, Los Angeles Police Department has invested millions of dollars to expand biometric identification capabilities for officers in the field. And there's been a couple other talks about that. A few of your major cities, I want to say Boston, Los Angeles, and somewhere else, have already rolled out and it was in the leaked document stuff, and people looked more into it. Basically, a system that does that. It monitors all of the public safety cameras for that type of behavior, and then alerts police to go and check out the suspect in that area. It was interesting because they were the security researchers were trying to test things out by going and trying to see what would flag them. So like they were taking a laptop and standing in a back alley and like typing away on it for a little while and just like trying to look erratic. They never actually got flagged by it, but yeah, it's interesting that they have that out there. And I guess the more interesting thing is that it's not being alerted to the public, that they're just doing these things and we have to find out about them through leaked documents. So that's probably the scarier part, is that it doesn't have any public oversight. They're just ramping it up and trying it out and not telling anybody.
It's funny as all these documents become unclassified that, all the Big Brother conspiracy things from back in the day, that you thought were wild then are just kind of like, oh, yeah, what's kind of happening?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Or very much so in some cases. Makes you wonder.
And he also has another link about can hobby drones kill you? And it looks like the video on that page has Adam Savage with a chicken. So I imagine he does a test with a chicken to see how much it would hurt. And I can already say that Johnny has hit herself with the Phantom 3 at full blade speed, and she didn't die from it. So I don't think it's going to kill you. Oh,
Yeah, she didn't even cry from it. I don't remember.
yeah,
Was I
no,
there?
she didn't.
Did she do it when she was here?
No, she did it while she was
Oh.
here, but she was more than likely on a video
Who
chat.
did it when they were here? Somebody did it. I saw that.
I posted that link back into
Maybe it wasn't yours though.
RTM Tech, but I reposted it again. Looks like Phoenix has joined us and got some stuff in here.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. Oh, usual people, you must be over in England then, if it's 9 p.m. your time. Yep, and he's reposting some links there. Yep, we've talked about the Apple having a security leak in OSX that can bypass all their security, or they're having a security flaw. Did not talk about advanced malware targeting IoT devices and routers, but we know that's coming. There was a link about macro malware protection, and I don't have that one and haven't looked into it, but I want to say it's just about enabling some security on Microsoft Word, if I wasn't mistaken. Google's been ordered to unlock 9 Android phones by the FBI. Or no, Google has been ordered to unlock 9 Android phones. That's weird.
I didn't even read it, because I was like, oh yeah, duh. But I saw an article a week or so ago. It was like something about Google, that they just hand over whatever to the FBI, and that they have been doing it up until now and continue to do so whenever they ask for stuff. Is that happening in this case, or is something changing?
Yeah, so essentially with that one, the situation's different because on the Apple phone, the iOS is encrypted with the PIN or password that you input into the Apple or iPhone. With the Android device, the device is encrypted with your Google account. So they can just reset your password. It will decrypt the device from there, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been doing that for quite some time.
Yeah.
And the last one, the FBI is fighting to not reveal how they broke into or exploited the Tor to de-anonymize. I think it was child pornographers is what they were doing there, but they are trying. They used it in a court case, but they don't want to reveal how they actually did it. So.
Yeah, the judge in the case ordered that they turn over how they did it so that the defense attorneys could examine whether or not what they did was legal under the warrant that was issued.
Yeah. But it looks like the FBI is getting into some cracking and hacking stuff now. So.
Well, the government wants hackers, on their payroll.
Mm-hmm. Of course they do. That's why they have the Spot the Fed game at DEF CON.
Spot the Fed?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That is the name of the game there. Yeah, apparently they've had it for some time. Like they even used to give away T-shirts if you could spot the Fed. And a lot of people have done whatchamacallit, where during their talks and stuff, they'll say something that only a Fed would do, and they would ask people to raise their hand, and they'd be like, "All right, look around. There's the Feds." So,
what RTM tech? Are you serious? Like the last thing you said, if you encounter child support, you're obligated to report. Like I just thought that was general consensus. But the deputizing thing, that's weird.
Is he serious about IT techs being deputized?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Well, that's an interesting link, Phoenix. And thank you for the time mark, by the way.
I want to go to Texas and be deputized then.
Yeah.
Usual people, they do have a remote wipe or a security feature world or wipe itself, but I imagine the FBI and police know, because it does actually tell you if you enter the code X more times, it's going to wipe itself, and they're like, oh, well, we tried 4 times, let's just wait for Google now, I guess. So.
I imagine they don't really try, or if they do, it's just once.
Yeah, probably. And so Steve Gibson had a good show yesterday. He talked about who the original creator of TrueCrypt could be. Interesting. I'll have to make a note of that and check that one out. If anyone has wireless cameras, you can look through this document to secure them. Basically, what I picked up from it was basically you just need to make sure that your wireless network is secure and that you're not opening ports so that things can get out. You turn off UN universal plug and play and things like that. Yeah. And Phoenix says TrueCrypt is terrible encryption-wise compared to VeraCrypt now, so which is a fork of that. Yeah, with those cameras, you do want to make sure you have UNP, UPnP disabled so that they're not just automatically opening up ports and.
Sorry about that.
But that will make it so that it's more difficult to see your camera from outside of your network if they're using a proprietary app. So keep that in mind as well. And yes, change the default credentials. That would make a good. Oh, sorry, I misread that, Phoenix. Phoenix said TrueCrypt was very good when it came to encryption, but now VeraCrypt is the new and improved. I misread that. My bad. So I don't come across many Chive articles that are worth reposting, but this one was fairly interesting. Apparently, Pornhub has released some data insights about female viewership of porn and what search categories they look for based on location. Quite interesting if you want to review that data. They even break it down by some of the countries specifically. The U.S. breakdown was quite interesting, I thought, as well.
Thought the Russian was.
Yeah, the Russian one was really good, but that also that leans towards the. If you look at Russia and then look at the U.S. breakdown one, Colorado is either filled with a lot of Russians or they enjoy the same tendencies. Yeah, actually, usual people, any software that's developed in the U.S. that has encryption built into it has restrictions on the export of its source code. So I want to say that's more than likely why TrueCrypt developers stayed anonymous, so that they wouldn't be limited by those restrictions and could open source their software and provide it freely for everyone. Whereas if all the developers were in the US and they were building it in the US, they actually wouldn't be able to provide that data outside of the US. So
Hey, just FYI, Phoenix and everything. I always appreciate time when you're referencing something in a video. I always appreciate the time that it happens. I think this is, anyway, just a reasonable effort to, especially if it's a 2-hour show. But the plus, but just a little quick tidbit of technology. Question mark T equals double digit M double digit S goes a long way. Anyway, I'll be right back.
are you talking about for YouTube videos?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
Question mark T equals double digit M double digit S.
And actually, YouTube will do that for you automatically if you hit the share button and then say start at. It'll add the link for you automatically.
That's how I figured it out.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd report it in a more tech way.
I learned this on my own through the command prompt. If you want a cute video, there's a cute toddler making his way out of bedtime. It is a pretty cute video. Highly recommend it. Oh my gosh, I am so about to kill Chrome off my system. It is becoming such a pain. I'm just going to have a virtual machine that I have Chrome running in.
Crash on you again?
It doesn't crash, it just hangs now, and it's because I have so many pages open. Here's another video that's quite nice to watch and relaxing. It's how ice cream cake is made. It's actually fairly interesting. I did not know they just poured ice cream out. That's pretty cool. And speaking of ice cream, there's a Turkish ice cream vendor that just trolls kids as they try to buy ice cream from him. And he spends about 7 minutes torturing the kid about giving him the ice cream and not actually giving it to him. Usual people, yeah, definitely no one should be using WEP anymore for anything. And I wouldn't even recommend using WPA1 anymore at all. That's actually fairly weak as well.
Yeah.
WPA2 AES is
don't use TKIP. I don't remember the specifics on that, but that basically enables some backward
half. Yeah, it basically
compatibility
opens it up just as much as WPA1 is.
Yeah. Like if you enable that, you have just effectively, if you do like the TKIP plus AES setting, if you ever do that, you are effectively disabling the security of AES entirely. Yeah. Which, what? Like what? Huh?
And turn off WPS. That's actually far easier to crack than WPA2 is.
I guess my point is like, why have both? I'm sorry.
You shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't have anything other than WPA2 AES unless you're going with an enterprise radius server, which you have a lot more set up in backend if you're doing that. Turn off WPS. That's actually the worst, least secure thing ever created. Essentially, they gave you a 6-digit number PIN code that's easily cracked. Like they have Pixie Dust Attack and Reaver and Wash, those will actually all crack those things in a matter of minutes. So definitely turn off that. The only security you should have on your wireless is WPA.
WPA to AES only, and it's got to be AES only setting.
Yeah. And MAC filtering actually does not help at all because an attacker can scan your network, and your router actually reports all of the MAC addresses that are connected to your router. Yeah. So it's easy to spoof a MAC address. It's actually built into most drivers. Just go into the properties of Windows even and change and set your MAC address to whatever you want it to be. So MAC filtering actually just makes it more difficult to get your own stuff on your network. Although it does encourage you to know what MACs are connecting to your network, and that's a little bit nicer. So
I use them for on my router. I have I can assign a name. So instead of seeing the MAC address in my current list of connected clients, excuse me, I see the the name of whoever it is. But that also enables me, to see unknowns basically. So
yeah, it does help. Well, it encourages you to manage it. So that's
it does, and it's actually amazing when you actually do try to manage it, how many different devices get connected to your network and are used at times that you just don't think about, and it's like, wow.
Yeah,
yeah, he should. You can. There's some Googling. I've read something on the whole MAC address thing where you can sniff out the MAC address, but it is like easier, like he's talking about. It's not difficult.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that the router reports in its beacons and broadcasts unencrypted what MAC addresses are attached to it.
Yeah. See, and that's not what I read. That's not even what I read. Like, what I read was about getting the MAC address from the network traffic, but never mind. Like that. I thought that was easy or something, but never mind.
No, like I can literally scan networks around me. They can all be encrypted, and I can not only tell the MAC address of the wireless router, but I can also see the MAC address for all the clients connected to it. So it doesn't help at all for anything other than forcing you to look into it. Yeah, so RTM Tech, that printer driver issue is actually quite common in the event viewer. It just means that someone has RDP'd in with a local printer attached, and that RDP server doesn't have that driver installed. So whatever computer you remote into, it tries to hook your printers to it normally automatically because that's default checked. But if the server that you're remoting into, or the system that you're remoting into, it doesn't even have to be a server, doesn't have that printer driver.
Yeah, you get that event log entry. In fact, it's so bad in my older products, and then before the event log monitor, and then the D support suite now, they actually have to, like the D support suite, when you create your rules. Right, it's the default rule. Like if you create like a default rule set or whatever comes with it, includes the phrase "required for printer" as to exclude as an exclusion filter by default, just because of this. Exactly, it's such a common thing, and you'll get like 10 in a row if you connect, from like it just depends on what's on your network.
I don't see why they chose that to be a default checkmark. I actually normally go through and try to disable mine if I remember it. Otherwise, his event viewer is clean. So yeah, I'm leaning back down to the software itself patched itself, and that's what's causing your issue.
Yeah.
Oh, and that sucks that Dell decided now to call you about your Sonic Wall problem.
I mean, the only other thing, bless you, Proctor, the only other thing it could possibly have been was filter module, which, like I said, there was a bug that it's not reporting to the event log, though it is emailing. You would get that, but if not configured, just for anyone curious, just double check and make sure the executable's gone. But it's got to be so, you know.
Yeah. Well, if it's not working on the server and it never had crypto prevent, he ruled that out pretty well. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there could be a lot of actually no. I shied away from that one. Maybe I should have asked for clarity. There could be a lot of reasons why a client software for a database wouldn't work from a server configured a certain way, you know, with files and shared whatever, but would work from a network. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we're all leaning towards the ATX software as well. I'm not sure if Masonry is actually in here, but he wanted to talk about movies and games more. So
I don't know. I don't know. I want to say hey to him. Hey, what's happening?
Why don't you jump on Facebook and see if he'll talk to you?
No. Actually, the Macquarie, or AKA Fizzler, Macquarie would be the term. I know because that was his nickname back in high school or something.
He's actually missing a C if he wants that to be spelled correctly. Then
we're all old school. Me and him and Proctor go back that far. High school. And before me and Proctor, actually. So,
and even then, I think with an extra C, it would still be Macquarie. It's something about that CRY. It makes it into an S sound, I want to say.
AKA Beavis.
Yeah. Anyway, that link I just posted, it's probably the first time that Final Fantasy has interested me into possibly some point in the future maybe playing that game.
And I would like to see his Cornholio one more time before I die. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy what?
That's a terrible thing to say.
The Beavis, the shirt over the head. I am Cornholio.
But the way that you said that.
Oh my goodness, you are just in the wrong place. For what I was saying, obviously. Never mind.
Final Fantasy 15. Reclaim Your Throne is out, and that trailer is actually really well done, and it really actually intrigued me into playing that game. I have actually grown up watching other people play other Final Fantasies, and I enjoy watching them play. I don't actually like playing any of the Final Fantasy series, but this one actually looked interesting enough to where it might be worth playing. It's a cool trailer either way, kind of, too.
It is a cool trailer. Gameplay looks pretty good, too.
Hopefully you muted, Proctor.
Oh, yeah, I
am. So
he'll get it, by the way. He's probably using a client or something like that. If you're actually, you know, especially since he's not here, if you put his name in the thing.
So this was an interesting police report in Sweden. Apparently, a man was reported in Sweden to the police for farting. He got turned down for cuddle time, and he farted and left the apartment.
Yes!
And I'm sure he announced it. He's like, all right, then, fine. Just leave this. And then walked out.
Well, in that case, I've been holding this in all evening.
That's pretty good. I also like how the police spokesman had to check, had an obligation to check if any criminal actions were involved in that case. But
I've never heard of this actually happening. It's been joked about, you know, or something similar, but at some point.
RTM Tech, that's a good call. I wouldn't repeat that to any spouse.
She reported to the police that it disturbed her peace of mind.
Yeah. I think John's about to have a small heart.
I'll disturb her peace of mind.
It smelled very bad in my flat, said the woman.
RTM Tech says
Man down.
farting as well.
I think I farted a little just laughing about it.
Oh no.
You can barely breathe.
Oh dear. Oh, I love it. That's awesome. Let me try to read this. Or maybe not. Maybe not now. I'm sorry.
RTM Tech said it was actually a NFL player was fined for farting.
Wow.
A fart tax? They have a fart tax?
Oh my, it gets worse. Excuse me. Thank you. One or two of those a day would just do everyone a world of good, you know. It's like you're better for hours after a good laugh. It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, usual people, that would be a non-fun time. And I've had that happen if you clone server OSs and virtual environments too. Actually, Phoenix, that's incorrect. You should actually always have two domain controllers on the same network. One of them is
Primary, secondary, what?
your primary, and then your secondary or backup domain controller is actually the Microsoft recommended way and one of the only ways to easily recover a corrupted.
Mm-hmm. You can have it. You can have as many secondaries as you want. I think. All right.
Yeah, but yeah, they
One
recommend
primary.
Yeah, you can only have one primary, but they recommend.
He probably knows that.
Backup, so
you probably lectured him on something he already knows. But don't just tell us about it. Anyway,
he said you can never have two domain controllers. He should say you never have two primary domain controllers. I was actually
right, I am a stickler about being, but that's also why I'm a stickler about spelling and grammar and things too.
I actually brought it up because I was actually very surprised because I was trying to repair a domain controller, and basically Microsoft was like, "Yeah, well, if you followed the recommended setup, you would have a backup domain controller, and you could just switch all your services to that, and you'd be good to go, just formatting this one." And we didn't have a backup domain controller on that network, so we got screwed, and we had to recreate the entire Active Directory again. So. Yeah.
Still good from the laugh.
I knew that finding a fart joke you would appreciate.
Yes.
So Hot Wheels is bringing back some of their 80s gear. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. My boy was big into that for a bit, but now he's 7. I went to.
I still like Hot Wheels.
Hmm.
Why would you not be into it still?
Because I don't make. Well, all right, I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is that a lot of the items that I have purchased under their brand have been not very good as far as even doing as advertised, if not doing that, but just poorly. It's just like with the cars, but you know that, like, all right. The Hot Wheels to me don't seem but there is a difference. You can tell a difference when a Hot Wheels branded car and a dollar store car, which you get 3 in a pack for $1.
Yeah.
And you can tell a difference between those.
Yeah,
Even
one of them
still,
actually feels like metal. The other one feels like plastic.
right, right. But there are other ways to cut corners, and there are also ways to cut corners and do things that and have lesser quality. Even with those differences, there are still other things too. I suggest that perhaps there could be a better Matchbox car kind of thing that is not Hot Wheels, or that is Hot Wheels, but is premium, that might actually be worth being cool. But no, I don't think that's. Sorry.
Yay, Masonry. Yes, I know how to pronounce your name because Nick already corrected me, but I'm going to say it that way anyway. Didn't miss the whole show.
I did correct him.
Correct me.
GoBots were not Transformers. Thank you for at least kidding about that, understanding that it was a kidding. They were most definitely not Transformers. However, they were still a force to be reckoned with at the time. I guess they're not anymore. Name wasn't quite as cool.
No, GoBots sounds way dumber than Transformers.
Yeah, I know, right? Their main bad guy, I remember, was a motorcycle. He transformed into he go-botted into him. I don't know, whatever they called it, into a motorcycle. That's all I remember. Thank you for that.
So, here's a Thermite Launcher. So if you ever wanted to launch Thermite from a distance, apparently you can now. This is from the same guy that brought you the Wolverine claws and the underground man cave bunker. And we got a link from Usual People. Let's see where that says.
And also, I'm not gonna finish typing. I threw a link in there, Macquarie, but you should actually. A lot of the show is actually pretty good. There was a couple things that were thrown at you today. You were in the chat, but you just didn't respond. So.
Yep. Usual People. We'd actually talked about Jennifer Null on earlier show. I want to say it was this week. It was Monday or Tuesday. I want to say.
Sloppy coding.
Yeah, it is bad coding if your stuff breaks because of somebody's real name.
It's sloppy code. Well, I don't know. I guess I have to look into it maybe more. I guess it depends on if different languages.
It would depend, because there would be some times that you can't just say, hey, this is a string no matter what. It's like if it read it as a null, it could still break it.
Well, I mean, it's always going to be like the string has a data type in memory, has bits that identifies what it is, and that it's a string of something, of some text, not a constant for nothing. I feel like what's happening is someone's using variants somewhere that they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because a variant will interpret null as null if you don't quote it, or something in certain languages. But a string should never.
Yeah. I don't know how it would work out, but I know that databases probably would not it's probably a lot of access databases and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. And I don't do a lot with databases, so. But anyhow. They
would not take it as well.
But still, that would be sucky to have that name, just because.
It would. If you ever got into tech, you would be made fun of nonstop.
Oh, I know.
That pretty much Nulls your career in the
Well, text especially, but it's not like the word is exclusive to tech. But if it text especially these days, it would just like everyone would be bombarding her with, "Oh, are you in IT?" Or just something. Are you a programmer? What do you do for a living? Did it not occur to you that because you were named something, you should have done something like that or similar? Or
yeah.
hello? But she probably does get that a bit, actually.
Hey, Johnny has joined the chat.
Yes, she has. Is she up?
Well, her tooth is
boat?
hurting, so she won't have much to say. Guys, any idea? Yeah, that's you could just ignore that error message, usual people. It's not going to have an issue. Yeah, you're going to get that weird issue in the chat. It's not going to be an issue. It's because we use spoofing so that it doesn't show your actual IP address in the whois. So
I frequently end up in here under different names. I get disconnected, and my hex chat has like 3 or 4 alternates, so it'll reconnect as one of those, but then I'll get like an error. Actually, the hex chat, just I don't think I even see that. But
maybe not.
But the error does exist. There's an error associated with that.
Yeah, Masonry does have a nice access database if you wanted to do ping polling via VBA. That's what we were talking about earlier, actually.
Especially if you're watching from the website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a really important one. Apparently, Toshiba is recalling over 100,000 batteries that are melting laptops. So even if your laptop is not a Toshiba, you may want to check in the batteries because it may still be a Toshiba battery. But it does look like these are geared towards Toshiba laptops, which they don't even make those anymore. Didn't we come across that? They don't make Toshibas anymore.
Do what?
They don't make Toshibas anymore, do they?
Laptops?
Yeah.
Thought they did.
I thought they discontinued their line.
Wasn't that just hard drives?
They're definitely doing hard drives.
Yeah, I am
still doing hard drives?
I am still seeing Toshiba laptops in the shopping list, so you could get them.
Nine screens. Macquarie's got 9 screens. Well,
oh, you bastard! 9 screens. I want that.
He was always like that. I remember when he had 2 pagers because of work, or 2 cell phones. And then later after that, I remember that.
I have 5 attached to my system, but I do have 6, 7, 8 available to me. So Phoenix has 12 screens.
I have 3, but you know what? I put enough of the right content on each of them. And they're 24 wide. I mean, it's really not much else I can do here without doing like a needle period setup.
Yeah.
Like
that's what Masonry has is
yeah, 2 pagers. You had 2 pagers. Yes, there was such a thing as a pager to the younger crowd. No, it was not an intercom-like device.
Nick, you were the first to experiment on dual monitors before the rest of them.
I did do some stuff early on. Things that couldn't be done later. Like we were having a conversation the other day, and I forget where it came from, and you were like, somebody was like, you can't use onboard video when you attach it. And I was like, oh yeah, you can. It just depends on the chipset. Yeah. So I had a lot of weird things going on, I guess. Yeah. Well, that was Nick first. I grew up Nick.
All right, I'll fix that later, Proctor.
All right, cool.
Should have probably mentioned that, but didn't.
Oh yeah, Proctor actually did. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not mention it. Maybe nobody noticed.
Hey, did we talk about it when I did it?
I don't know.
You did. You talked about it when you did.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
It was like, I should.
So actually, today is World Backup Day. Did anyone know that?
No way.
I
was thinking about doing some backups of the servers this morning, some manual ones in addition to the automated ones, and I don't know why. Maybe that was it.
Because it's World Backup Day, so that's why.
Awesome.
Yeah, so if you have any clients out there, definitely use this time to be like, hey guys, happy World Backup Day. Are your backups working? You might want to check them, or you might want me to come out there and check them for you. Yes, back up your Shizi. I want one of these.
Your start. Back up your start.
Although I don't know I would use it as much. It's still an awesome design, and I would like to have one.
And speaking, actually, can we devote a moment to backup? I'm going to pimp somebody that I'm not getting paid to pimp, and that's Crash Plant. I love me some Crash Plant, and you can too, even for free. They have you actually do pay for the storage on their servers, but you don't have to use their servers. You can use your own or externals or whatever else and get all the real time everything. Their software is actually free. You just go through the trial, you let it go, and they actually tell you, hey, it's free to continue to use the software and do whatever you want. It's just we would like you to buy access to our storage, our server too. So if you want to support them, but which I do, but love the software, versioning, all the good stuff. So multiple backup sets. If you buy it, you one of the things you do get is multiple backup sets as a free software. You can only back up, I guess, simultaneously to a local hard drive and an internet location or something. But another computer over the internet or something like that. But you have to, if you actually do buy even the cheap plan, the software, it unlocks the capability to do multiple backup sets, so you can back up to multiple servers elsewhere or whatever. You don't even have to. It's even I guess I'm saying it's even a benefit to pay them if you're not going to use their server. So.
Okay. I actually use the Windows 10 backup as well as the Windows 7 backup and have two local backups.
I've got the 10 backup also on too.
I've used that backup to restore my system before, and it worked extremely well. So I can't say that they're not doing all right on those either. And I've long since used just the Windows backup. If you're just backing up to a local hard drive, it is built in. It works. So. RTM Tech had some more D7 questions, but awesome. He'll bring them back tomorrow. It looks like he had to leave today. So.
Oh, okay.
All right, usual people. Good luck on your mascot work. I think we'll have to learn more about that.
Oh, y'all don't want to hear this.
What a weird game. Apparently, there's a smartphone app to do plastic surgery. How weird is that?
Interesting.
And is that something really you want to teach kids or encourage? Like, the only way that could be worse is if they came out with a plastic surgery Barbie. What are you mumbling? Oh, Johnny can't wait until they have virtual reality plastic surgery. She's extremely excited about it. She's never going to leave the VR world.
No, that's not what I said. What'd you say? My mom was like, what'd you say?
There's a smartphone app where you can do plastic surgery. It's a game, even. Okay, that makes it a little bit better, usual people.
Hey, I'm gonna throw in on this one, dude.
What?
This was, oh, sorry, that was a plastic surgery, last week, or bad angle. Anyway, that was a plastic surgery last week. That was a massive, massive cyst on my knuckle. I had to go in and scrape stuff off of it and fix a bone spur and oh, my spacebar thumb. And so anywho, yeah, I know. And so anywho, that's plastic surgery. There's a lot of plastic surgery that is not what you think of when you think of boob enlargement.
It's not cosmetic.
Yeah. So that's still perfectly necessary.
Yeah, I think in this
not
app
all
they're doing
about shoving
nose jobs.
collagen in your lips, or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, to be honest, I still have a hard time getting that through my head. I just keep seeing it on the paperwork that I get in the mail and doing the bills and stuff.
See, that's weird because I would have thought it would have been the opposite way around. That what you were doing would have been cosmetic surgery, and what they were doing was plastic surgery because they're like injecting plastic most of the time.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Where like cosmetic surgery would have been like taking something off that doesn't need, like mole removal. Or
well, they call it they just call it all plastic surgery, and I guess it all really is cosmetic surgery, but it's not actually all for cosmetic reasons.
Yeah.
It just means that it's not life-threatening, I think, basically. Is actually, if you expand the term to include a lot of stuff, it means like not life-threatening. I know that's one of the criteria, but there can't be too many more of them. It apparently covers a lot of things.
It was causing you pain, though, wasn't it?
Huh? Actually, no, it wasn't.
Really? Okay.
No, but it was causing discomfort. The difference between discomfort and pain. When you've got a lump on your knuckle, it causes discomfort for any reason, and especially when it's large, and you can't fit it into a bowling ball.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, even the house ball, not mine, the house ball. So yeah. So you can call
it. Not what that game was promoting, though. Just to make that clear.
Okay. I was just trying to clarify. That's all.
Usual people, that's awesome. Keep up doing volunteer work. It's always good. And Masonry points out that plastic surgery can be thought of as scar prevention or just how something will heal.
Hey, I bet you they scarred my stuff up. And I know when I woke up with the splint knot on my bare thumb a couple of nights, especially after, this was it second night or third night I did that. And then like the night right after that, I did like 3 nights in a row. Like, I think I just didn't do it last night because I wrapped it differently. But yeah, that probably hurt me at some point during the middle of the night. But I'm pretty sure. I guess the point is that scar prevention is probably wasn't really foremost on their minds when they were, because the doctor. Okay, all right. Actually, to be honest with you, the doctor didn't talk to me much. The doctor supposedly spoke to me after I woke up from the anesthesia. Amnesia, so I actually didn't remember him speaking to me minutes after he left, apparently. And so, but apparently, and he went and talked to Jay, but apparently he didn't tell her much either. It wasn't like I have no idea what. I haven't been like Googling how to take care of myself. Weird surgery.
Did they not give you a whole bunch of paperwork?
Probably.
Yeah, I think it's read that instead of tried Googling it.
Dude, yeah, it's paper. I don't think give you a disc or something.
Because it would have been outdated according to
Not a
Michael.
disc with a thumb drive or something, Well, they should use copy to flash and use it frequently.
Well, suggest that to him.
I can make a utility for this. Don't worry. Ice pack. So, anywho.
All right. Well, let's move on from the plastic surgery realm.
Oh yeah.
So tomorrow is Foolish IT Day,
Mm-hmm.
also known as April Fools, more commonly. But here's some April Fool's pranks you can play on your technical people. So if you want to do that, there's one that's awesome: a Chewbacca roar contest. Call and leave a voicemail with your best impression, and you can put anyone's phone number there. So you have a bunch of people call up a voicemail and just leave Chewbacca impressions.
I thought we got rickrolled today, by the way.
How?
Okay. I forgot. We pulled in after my doctor this morning. We went straight to the pharmacy, and we pulled in. We didn't have the radio on, and that was actually weird. But Jay didn't have that, and she was driving in her car, and she didn't have the radio on, and so we all of a sudden started hearing this music when we pulled into the parking space. Just music started, and it was like, what? And so we're like looking at each other, we're looking at the thing, and it's off. We just like look at it for a minute and hitting some buttons on the console, and then she turns the car off, and it's still going. And I'm like, well, I don't know, cars. I don't know. So I like press a button or something. It's a push button, ignition. I don't know. I was like, push it again. I don't know. Let's see what's going on. And finally, I looked up, and imagine that, being aware of your surroundings. There was a guy in front of the store right beside the pharmacy with a big amp and a guitar. He was doing a good number. But I thought we got rickrolled, and I said to Jade, I was like, "Oh shit, did we get rickrolled in your little car stereo thing? Is that what's going on here?" Anyhow.
Okay. So yeah, these are other things that happen when you go outside, Nick.
I know. I don't normally do that.
People do things outside of your car.
He got a donation because it was funny.
Nice. That's awesome. I thought this app was pretty interesting. If anyone has Android 5 Lollipop or above, they added that nice quick start menu that you can customize a little bit with system stuff. Apparently this app, custom quick settings, lets you put any application in that quick pull down menu on Android. So if you wanted to make it even easier to get to some of your Androids, you could do that. Yep, can't do it with KitKat. Gotta go to Lollipop. I had heard that rent in San Francisco was outrageous, but this guy apparently paid $400 a month to live in a box inside of someone's living room.
Oh dear. Wow.
So he built his own little box. It looks like it was pressed right up against a window, and lived there for $400 a month.
I lived in a 10 by 10 room in a warehouse for $400 a month, but that's just another story for another time.
And he was actually extremely happy to...
It wasn't a box in someone's living room, though. That's weird. It's like the privacy.
Yeah, he was extremely happy to be living in there for that cheaper price, which...
Well, I was actually talking to Jade earlier today. We were, after we left from the hospital, I got my x-ray on the foot. which they still haven't told me about. Easy people. But I was chilling at the place up the road, and we got a little breakfast, and they had a TV. And so she was looking at the TV, and because while I'm out, I don't go anywhere ever. So, and she's looking at the TV, and it's on one of those home shows with all of the things, and they were doing some West Coast, somewhere California, SoCal, and they were all in the like 900 to 1.2, million range houses, and she was, Jay was like, for a 3 bedroom, these things, and I'm like, okay, well, they're not showing you the other neighborhoods. There's got to be other neighborhoods because I'm pretty sure McDonald's is in SoCal, and I'm pretty sure that they need workers that they're not going to pay to live in those kind of houses. So
Yeah, but they have to live like a mile.
well, yeah, and that's why I brought it up because this is that's the guy. I'm sorry.
But even all around San Francisco, like even the outskirts of San Francisco, you're paying extremely high rates for that whole Silicon Valley area. You pay ridiculous, outrageous rates. And Masry was even saying the entire West Coast you have to pay outrageous rent. But it is true. I had to pay a lot more for rent in Colorado. So.
If we go where the people are, you pay for it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but all the people are on the East Coast. The East Coast is way more population density than the West Coast. It's just more people want to be out west. So if you go where more people want to be, then you're paying for it.
I was gonna say, a ton of people here. I mean, tourist season and whatnot, but not a ton of people here, compared to even East Coast up like New York. Like Manio over there is the same size of Long Island or something, I think. But really, small town. Andy Griffith, small town with Andy Griffith, complete with Andy Griffith until he died the other year or two ago. But and then
But density wise, like you're not going to go very far without seeing another person. Where out west you can go for hours at a time and not see another person.
Yeah, point taken. Deserts and things, and
yeah. So that's a big difference. That's why I was saying density wise, and that was one of the things about the drones that I was reading about is if you're not able to fly within 5 miles of an airport, most of the East Coast, you are out of luck. Like there's almost an airport every 5 miles almost, unless you go out to like a national park or national forest, and then you're not allowed to fly in national parks anyway. So it kind of cuts you down on that. And it looks like Masry was paying $1,100 a month for 750.
I don't know. I would just say if you imagine 750 square feet, I'm trying to get a grasp on that right now. I seem to remember one of the last houses I rented after, like the only house I rented. I always did apartments, and the only house I rented, was the last places one of the last places I rented before. Anyway, never mind. But it was like, gosh, I don't want to say it was like 12 or 1,450 square feet, and it was just the biggest thing I'd ever been in my life. Doing the apartment thing, it was usually around 750 or so, like that. But in that range, then you're also usually looking at like the $600 a month kind of range too. On this coast. So that's like a good bit less.
The last apartment we had in
the first apartment,
Colorado, we were paying for a 1-bedroom that was $750 a month, and it was about that square feet. And before that, we had another 1-bedroom in Boulder, and we were actually paying $950. That was because we were in Boulder and right near downtown. So
now 15 years ago in East Coast Virginia, I did. I almost had to pay just for. It wasn't even a great area either, but it wasn't horrible. It was about $650 or $700 on special a month for was it? But it was for like 400 and some square feet. It was like literally, you know, like a bathroom. It actually did have separate bedroom, living room, bathroom, and a little kitchenette thing, kinda with the living room. And like the living room it had a fireplace, believe it or not. I'm serious, but the living room wasn't big enough to actually have a couch, and you had to have a love seat or recliner. Oh gosh, stop it.
We're not living adjacent to the ghetto now. We're living near it, not adjacent to it. Let's move on. Macery said we got you started on story time.
Yeah, no.
So, fun time for your kids if you have any. You can make glue react to magnets. That's pretty cool. All you need is some iron fillings. And the video is pretty cool because it has your whole hand covered in glue and being able to use magnets to pull it off and stuff. That looks fun.
Oh yeah, I could see my kids making a big mess with that.
Yeah.
His dodgy router has its uses. It cuts out when I start talking, basically, is what he's saying. Awesome, yeah. Like my friends all agree with you, I think.
Here's the interesting thing. They're proposing to keep skyscrapers from casting shadows in Central Park. Basically build really high mirror walls, it looks like. So it would reflect the sun back into the park. I kind of feel like that would end up being bad.
They could really hurt some people with the whole ant magnifying glass.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. But still, it's funny. I don't know. It would probably just be an annoyance for people. Actually, there's probably a lot of people that use that park that they don't want the sun. I hate the sun.
Yeah.
I like it when it doesn't really affect me, like in a picture or something. It's great, but in life, it hurts a little bit.
I thought it was fine when I went to Central Park. Like, it's kind of nice having the buildings, but I guess if that's the only nature,
yeah, exactly.
Want to be able to get away from them. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but you know how it is with a mirror kind of thing going on. It's brighter. It hurts. Melting lounge chairs, really?
Mirror walls at Las Vegas. They were melting lounge chairs with mirrors.
You're shitting me. Which hotel was this in Vegas? That's funny. I didn't think that.
You sounded like, oh, I've been there. Tell me, how do I not know this?
Well, no. I just really don't they have engineers that think about things before they do them?
Probably not.
Oh, that was one of those things I just assumed. Oh, they'll never let that happen. It's like this is the first thing you think of. Oh dear.
Apparently, there was a walkie scorchy tower in London that was melting cars. So yeah, it happens a lot apparently. Here's some nice security tips that everyone should be following if you're not already.
Ooh, security.
Most of them are
security,
common things, but it's a good thing to know and go over if you have clients especially that need to be reminded about those things.
And sometimes it's like you think you got it, and then you're reminded of something, and you're like, oh yeah, and even maybe you do it, but you don't remember to tell a client or something even. So that's a good point.
Death Ray Vegas Hotel.
And thank you, number 10, right away from it, because that's the big one.
And Usual People linked to the one that was in Britain. So
awesome, thank you, guy. Death Ray Vegas Hotel pool.
Speaking of things melting, here's how you friction weld titanium. I thought that was cool too.
That reminds me of the McDonald's hamburger thing you posted the other day.
The copper.
Yeah, molten copper versus McDonald's or something.
Hey, so we all like Uber.
Yeah, man.
This is an interesting thing they're doing to find new engineers to develop with Uber. Okay.
Sorry, I pulled something on. Just pulled something. Just trying to strap up my messed up foot.
You should be careful. You gotta remember, you got two broken pieces. You need to pay attention to both.
I know, it's so difficult to break two things on your body at the same time. Always one thing.
So apparently Uber, whenever you're taking a ride, they'll offer you to play a game and let you code on the road. And depending on how well you do, you'll get ranked and possibly get a job as a Uber engineer.
Yes, I am falling apart. I'm sorry, I just read Macary's. Cat. Apparently, when I screamed, he was just moving.
Picking up his cat, yeah.
Thank you for that.
Hey, so who's excited about Voltron coming to Netflix?
I am, actually.
Oh, really? Cool.
I'm going to watch it for real. I'm going to seriously watch it. And I'm going to do so, and I'm going to be like, in your face, Victoria, who's obsessed with modern Japanese stuff.
It's a new and improved version of it, so that's good.
Be like, check out Voltron. Huh?
Voltron for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do you ever have to meet someone and hate having to decide where you're going to meet? Because they got an app for that.
That was actually an issue this morning, I think, with Jade and someone on Facebook over a local thing, a lamp.
Yeah, well, they got an app that'll tell you the halfway point between two addresses. So. And it is really cool to watch a nuclear bomb explode underground. Highly recommend it. Yet another reason to back up Michael's sentiment about not paying for ransomware. Apparently the Coverton ransomware, if you get that, definitely do not pay the ransom because you're still not going to get your data back. Apparently they have a flaw in their setup where you'll pay the ransom and you still won't get your data back. So we would not recommend paying any ransom ever because it only encourages other people to continue that issue and setup.
Which we've seen happen after that first hospital paid the ransom. We've seen a rash of hospitals get hit with ransomware.
Yep, actually being targeted even, not just getting hit with it.
Right.
Specifically targeted. And on that note as well, here is Seagate giving you some information on how to do your backup. So backup, backup, backup. Can't say that enough is good.
Back up your backups.
Yeah. Back up your backups and be sure that both backups are backing up correctly.
And test the restore.
Yeah, so you can make sure when you need it, you know how to do it. Besides the fact that you know that it's working. All right, well, we have gone to about an hour and a half. Did anyone else have anything else they wanted to talk about? Or pull out here at the last minute? Glenn did have a few things, but I'm going to save those until tomorrow when Glenn can talk to us with them. Glenn had more than a few things, so we'll save it till tomorrow when Glenn has a chance to join us. But otherwise, I think we should probably wrap her on up for today.
All right.
Oh, what a mess! What a mess.
Nothing. We were just saying we're going to wrap it up.
Oh, okay.
So thanks everyone out there for watching. Always, if you have any questions about our software or services, feel free to contact us at support@foolishit.com, or you can wait until tomorrow at 6 p.m. when we'll have our live show for Friday. And otherwise, we will see you all then. So,
Yay! Bye, internet. On both
Good
ends
evening,
of the
everybody.
internet.